Hi everyone, it's an honor for me to be here again, as I was with Laval last year in a physical experience. It's quite difficult for me to do a conference that way because I'm not really used to it. Like, I used to see a lot of people and the reaction of people when presenting, but we will keep digital for that time. And first of all, I would like to say that what Laval did this year is amazing, and in the short period of time, it's great. I will try to build value with the presentation today in showing you a real example in industry and how they can use the PR. And first of all, let me introduce the company so you know what we do and how we get this example done. So Group AP360 is making VR since 2012. And in order to grow faster, we opened up a franchise. And in the last 5-6 years, we opened up 40 franchises all over France, Switzerland, and Caribbean as well. Which means that we produce a lot of VR, and all the data I'm bringing today are the data we collect ourselves, and not the data that we take on Google or whatever. So we will really try to bring you value today by giving you the good way of producing a PR and how it would the example. So I used to be working for Google as marketing director in Sydney, and that's why I'm really into data and all that analytics. Yeah. Okay. So I hear someone talking. It's okay. Okay. So just a bit of context today. There are more than 4.5 billion people online now, and COVID actually increased that number. And the people are going online, they're trying to find new ways of promoting marketing and doing learning as well. So we reach the new life, which is e-life, and Laval is a great example of it. For example, the Congress now become e-Congress, and business become e-business, visit e-visit, and school and so on. So I want to give you the different uses of VR, and today we'll focus on one more than another. The first use is learning or digital learning, depending on how you call it. But I don't want to focus on it. We did it last year, and you've got many conferences about this subject. I will be focusing on the use of VR for marketing purposes and commercial purposes. So it's split into two different parts. Well, you use it for internal marketing or external marketing or even both of them. And today we'll be focusing on Schneider Electric device in VR that we produce for them, which was used for both usage, internal and external. So Electric, they wanted to digitalize their company in Chaos in Nice. We actually did many other sites for them, but today we'll focus on the one from Nice. And what's important is, why did they want to virtualize their company and the production sites? First of all, they wanted to emphasize the production side and show the R&D, production, and all of that aspect. It's kind of an internal use because they will use it also for new customers. When people come to the company, they want to know what production site is doing what and who is working where. So it's an internal tool for them, kind of like a map. So you know exactly in Nice who is working on what and what they're doing, and do they have a specific R&D process and all of that stuff. So it's a new way of presenting internal and external purposes, as I said. They make the site accessible 24/7 as well, because we know that there are people working from all over the world with this site, whether for commercial purposes or internal purposes as well. And to show the energy efficiency as well, I will show you the example on my screen. We'll exactly see how it works. They want to be different and innovative as well, and able to protect themselves. Again, by the way, for external purposes, if you want to sell your product that you're producing with your company in the industrial environment, or if you want to explain the process on how you produce something, or even if you want to bring your employees with you and explain to them tomorrow your new job will be this, and that's how you will do it. So it's better and easier for them to project themselves on how they will do it. Again, we really ask a lot of questions to our clients because we wanted to know how they would like to use it, whether it would be on mobile, tablet, computer, or VR. And I really want to emphasize on that point because VR is a point. It's really important. Most of companies right now, we do work with a lot of big companies from CAC 40, and most of companies want to go to VR because it's fake, it's nice, and all of that. But that shouldn't be the reason why you go to VR. VR is not only a technology, really, savvy technology that you would use because it sounds good and it's nice to say you are doing it. You really have to have a purpose on that. And it makes me think of one client that we have, which is FH Instruction, and they actually used to do VR before they knew us, and VR was not the right user because they gave it to people working in buildings, and they were not used to VR, and they didn't want to wear the mask and the VR staff. So it was complicated for them. So the first of all, when you create VR or 3D experience, you really have to determine and exactly who you are targeting, who will be using, and what would be friction points. For example, it's the people who would be using it, be tech savvy or not. Even now, try to make it really simple, and it's really important. I will show you the example right after this slide, but what makes a great experience right now? You want to have some content, and I explain a lot of that because you have two kinds of content, pull content and push content. The push content, for example, like a video, you are just pushing the content to your user, whether they are employees or whether it's for marketing commercial purposes, and they kind of like, they get the information, but they don't select what they want to learn from it. Or you've got pull content, which means you give content to your user and they will set the experience, they will get the information, and they will do their proper own experience. So which means VR for visiting a place, it's obsolete right now. When you're visiting a place, you want to get information which leads you to another place, to another place, and to another place, and then you get more information, and then finally you turn to a customer. So first of all, a great experience is you will have to be able to renew information, which means if you have information in your VR experience, you have to be able to change it yourself. Which means you renew information frequently, you make people come back, and you don't pay for something that has to change every 2 months or every month, which means you have to get back to the company you're working with and all of that stuff. So try to think about it long-term perspective. Second of all, tracking statistics. What you do of your experience, you have to think about the ROI and your KPIs. That's what makes a great experience, because we have seen so much bug proof of concept that people are deploying, they are not paying for it, and then they go like, okay, VR, it was great, but we don't want to go more into VR because we really know what we got from it. So if the client pays for it and has KPIs and are able to check the ROI, then the experience would be better because they know this working, this is not, and that's how we will improve over the time. And that's the takeaway, and for me the most important one. Third one that I actually already talked a bit about, the persona. You have to know who you are targeting, who is going to be using it, and what are the friction points. Because to target the wrong people... Sorry, I can do myself. If you target the wrong people, then you can deploy the best VR experience, but for the wrong people, then your experience is useless. So please make sure that you know exactly who you're targeting and what they are expecting from the VR experience. few points. It has to be quick to load. Like Laval, it's quite quick to load, which means people can actually use it effectively. The less click you have to convert makes more benefits, because if you have to click 10 times to get access to the conversion point, then our experience won't be good on our ride. To be easy to use, easy to deploy, because obviously when you are working in the industrial perspective, then you want to deploy it faster and to more sites. So it has to be easy to deploy, and you have to think about it when you first deploy the first one. So you have to make it scalable. Think like a customer first. It's something that seems simple, but most of the time when you're deploying, you're really thinking about technology before thinking about the usage. And the usage should be first, and the technology should come second, because most of the time the customer don't care about the technology. What they want is something easy to use and which brings them value. So think about the customer first, and think about an experiment that brings value to the customer. And the last concept, which I love, is keep it super simple, or keep it straight and forward. Because again, if you've got a really simple way of using the VR, then more people will use it, and then you will have more conversion, and you will make more money, or train more people. So let me just change my screen right now so I can show you the example with Schneider Electric. For those who would like the presentation with some more notes, well, we prepared a second one with more notes. If you want it, then we will be glad to send it to you if you just send me a private message. It's obviously free for everyone. So let me just give you the link for Schneider Electric. Gregory, please, can you tell me if you can see it now?
Yeah, okay, for
Okay, great. So, basic Schneider Electric, as I said, we'll get back to the point I mentioned before. So, as you can see, whether you can move from place to another, or you can get information. Here, you get information about the client, explaining how work the building and all of that stuff. There is quite a time difference between the time I click on a point, the time it shows with a crank wheel that we use to show the screen. So here are the informations. As I said, the client has the ability to change, modify as much as he wants and whenever he wants the content. Because obviously, if you deploy this kind of VR project, you want to be able to change it, and it hasn't to be updated in the next 2 weeks or 2 months. Then if you click on arrows, then obviously you move from place to another. As I said, it has to be quick to load, it has to be different content, it has to be easy to navigate well, so that way of navigating through a menu. And let's say I am working for Schneider and I'm working as a sales, then I can show through Zoom or any presentation online what we produce, how we produce it, and do like a virtual tour of the technology. So that's a way of using for marketing, internal, external, and they actually use it for recruit people as well, because obviously when you see that, you say, okay, they have this kind of technology here. I would like to work for them. That would be nice, and really use it to emphasize the way to onboard people as well. So, sum up what I just said. It has to be simple. It has to have information which make the experience better. You have to know who you're targeting and who is using it, and who you are targeting with the device as well. It is just an online version, but they also have the version, the virtual gear, but they don't use it for the same people at the same time. With the virtual gear, they use it for people internally, or people who would like to come to sites, and because they can't always bring them in the site to the right place, then you can give them the gear, and so they project them to this place. And finally, you have to know exactly why you are doing it and how much it brings value to the customer and how much value it brings to you as a client. Because you want to know if this gives you the ability to sell more, to recruit better. And for the final user, is this operation giving me more information and helping me to get a decision and bring me value? So I could talk about that for ages and hours. So I would more like to interact with you guys, and if you have any questions and statistics about this kind of usage, because I have some more right here. Maybe you can see my screen now. I'll just show you again my presentation because I've got some data to you. Okay, so I guess it's all right. For example, for this setup of solution, it's a link, as I said. Whether it's a link, so you can send it through emails and other websites, or it's a VR experience as well when they use it internally or when they go abroad to explain how they work. It has to be responsive, of course, because you want to use it on your mobile tablet and many devices. It has to go all social media, email signature, extranet, newsletter, and all of that stuff. Again, when you produce this type of content, you want your client to use it to most devices, the more devices, and the more places as well, and social media signature, extranet, newsletter, and all of that. They actually use it a special way because they use it as a website. And now we talk more and more about augmented website, which is you're just going to the address right here and you go straight away to the tool, which the virtual tool is made like a website, but you can actually move from a place to another, which brings great statistics, as you can see here. We brought to you the last 2 months data because we don't want to put so much data about our client. Honestly, what's important here is the time that they spent on average, because you know that a normal website, people would mainly spend 30 seconds less. Here they spend more. Again, as I said, it's push up content. Pull content, you let themselves create their own experience, and that's what's important. And the bounce rate is important because it means how many people to your website or your experience, their experience, and left the experience without clicking anywhere. So here we are less than 5%, which if I give you the average website right now during COVID-19 is more like 70-75%, which means almost 8 people out of 10 who go to your website will leave without clicking anywhere. Rather than on the virtual tool, it's less than 5 people. Again, it's a pull content, and that's why they create their own experience. They click on the high points, they get information, and then they go to another, they get more information, and then spend the time they want wherever they want.